Harriet.
Hi, it's Aarin.
What's wrong, Harriet? Are you okay?
I'm just feeling a little pressure from all the work I have to do from school.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sure it's not very easy being away from all of your friends and being away from school, is it?
No.
Well, I'm glad that we get to hang out and we get to teach all of our friends at home about all of the fun weather stuff we've been learning about.
Yeah, me too.
Well, let me show you something, Harriet. I think this will cheer you up.
Okay.
Okay, Harriet, check it out. So, this is a plastic water bottle and it is full of water. I'm going to take some push pins and I'm going to push them into the bottom of this bottle. See? So, there was a little bit of water that was coming out, but not a whole lot. What do you think is going to happen when I remove all of these pins from the bottle? Do you think it's going to leak?
I don't know.
Well, let's see.
Wow, check it out. It's not leaking very much.
The atmospheric pressure is holding the water inside of the bottle. What do you think's gonna happen when I remove the bottle cap, Harriet?
I'm not sure.
Whoa! See how now they're all leaking?
Yeah, I see that. That's so neat.
Well, what's happened, Harriet, is when I released the top of this bottle, the atmospheric pressure started coming in from the top and pushing down onto this water. So there you go. You can try that at home too. Harriet, wouldn't it be awesome if you could truly predict when a storm is coming?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good at watching the clouds and identifying them.
Well, that's good. But we can probably add a few more things to our weather station that would improve our forecasting.
We can?
Yeah. We've done really good with what we've done, with what we've made so far. We've made a rain gauge.
I've been measuring that.
We have made a weather vane.
That measures wind direction.
We've made an anemometer.
That measures wind speed.
And we've made a cloud watcher.
That's right. Look and watch my clouds.
That's right. So let's check out some of your observations. Wow, Harriet, you've done really good. Looks like you drew your clouds and you described your clouds and you looked at the weather conditions too. What about your rain gauge?
Well, on the rain gauge, I have measured all the different increments of the rain, and then I recorded my wind speed and direction every single day too.
Awesome. Our weather station is a system of parts that work together. Engineers look at problems with the systems approach too. They take each individual part of the system and they measure it and study it individually, and then they bring each part of the system back together so that they can study it as a whole. Our weather station is very much a systems approach to analyzing the weather, but it looks like we're missing two very important instruments.
What would those be?
Well, we're missing a thermometer.
Thermometer?
And we're missing a barometer.
Barometer.
So let's get started on working on those.
Yay!
Much of our weather is caused by pressure. So we know that hot air rises and we know that cold air falls. When hot air rises, it releases a lot of tension off of the Earth's surface. Whereas when cold air falls, it actually applies pressure to the Earth's surface when it condenses. So we can measure this type of pressure with a barometer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very cool. Let me show you a little bit about the barometer.
Okay.
This is our barometer. So we've used an empty glass bottle and an empty glass jar to make our barometer, but you can make yours with a plastic ketchup bottle and any other jar, just as long as the top bottle mouth does not reach the bottom of the glass jar. See, a barometer is a weather instrument that measures air pressure. Water that we put in the cup will rise to a certain level up the neck of the bottle. The reason that the water rises is that the air is pushing down on the water in the cup and forcing it up into the bottle. If the air pressure goes down, then the air is not pushing on the water as hard in the cup, and that means that bad weather is on the way. Whereas if it is pushing up, that means that we should have clear skies.
Wow, so cool!
We will be able to measure the change in air pressure by measuring how much water is in the neck of the bottle. Okay, Harriet, so I've drawn a small illustration to help us better understand what's going on inside of the barometer. If this air pressure is pushing down on the water and it's causing the water to rise, that means that we have high pressure, and that means that we're going to have good weather. When we have low pressure occurring, that means that the hot air is rising so fast that it's releasing air pressure off of the water surface, which means there's no pressure to push the water through the bottle, and the water will drop in your barometer measurements. If this happens really quickly, this means that the storm is going to be near. The reason that it causes a storm is because as this hot air rises up to the sky, what happens is that it condenses into a cloud. And then what happens when clouds condense and they're full? Then we have precipitation and it rains. And then so that's how we associate low pressure with bad weather. So within a barometer at maybe a weather station, they're measuring the barometric pressure with mercury inside their barometer. If you'd like to get an accurate reading of what barometric pressure is, you can either look it up on the internet, you can look it up in your newspaper, or you can wait for the weatherman or woman to announce that on a daily basis. Today our barometric pressure is 30.02. Well, using our systems approach, what else do you think we need for our weather station?
You said we were gonna make a thermometer.
That's right, we're gonna make a thermometer. So, have you ever seen a thermometer before?
Yeah, Uncle Gary uses one when I have a temperature, or I know they use them for outside.
Exactly. So, these are different types of thermometers, but they certainly work the same way. So we've made one today to help demonstrate how temperature rises and falls and how we use this as a weather instrument.
Okay, cool.
All right, so let's get our thermometers together and let's take a closer look. Okay, Harriet, so we have a glass of ice water here on the left and we have a glass of hot water. Let's check out what happens when we place our thermometer into a cold batch of water. Do you see the temperature is actually falling in our thermometer already? It might take a second, but it definitely will keep going. Let's see what happens when we put the other thermometer, which is right above the clay, into hot water. Okay, Harriet, we've waited just about a minute, and we can certainly tell thermometers have definitely dropped in temperature and increased in temperature.
Wow, that's so cool, Miss Aarin.
Okay, so our thermometer experiment was awesome. It shows us exactly what we need to know when we are looking at measuring thermal energy. So when we take our thermometer and we place it into a hot glass of water, what's happening is the water is expanding because it's conducting heat.
Oh, wow!
And then what happens when it's in a cold glass of water, whoopsie, is that it is contracting. The water molecules are contracting and it is making the temperature drop inside the thermometer, which we can clearly see on our thermometer gauge.
Wow! I love weather, Miss Aarin.
Well, we've made some pretty complete weather station at this point. So with our thermometers and our barometers and our rain gauges, our anemometer, our weather vane, we have a pretty cool weather station that's making up a really good system for us to be able to accurately forecast the weather.
Yeah, I'm so happy I have my own weather station at home, Miss Aarin.
I'm really happy that you have your weather station at home too. I hope that you pay more attention to the weather and that you take really great observations at home while you're at home, and you take advantage of being outdoors and loving the weather and loving the nature that we are in. Okay, Miss Harriet?
All right.
Okay, see you next time.